What's going on, here gamers? Today we're going to be going over a little bit of Aliens Fireteam Elite, and I'm going to be covering this fella right here, the Technician. In my opinion, one of the best classes in the game for early, mid and late game. However, there is something a little bit off with him, and if you're struggling for damage and cannot for the life of you work out why your numbers are really bad when you finish those missions compared to some of your other members, then hopefully I'll be able to help out with that. Welcome back all you guys and girls, as always, for all things gaming, for all things Xbox. All the latest and greatest hints, tips, guides and builds, and just some fun gameplay of the upcoming games, then why not hit that subscribe and bell icon. But for today I'm here to show you something with this Technician that's just a little bit off. The main thing with a Technician that you'll probably know is as soon as you can, most times you're going to bop straight over to your grid and you're going to chuck on this flame turret, or incinerator turret should I call it. It's just amazing, it absolutely mows things down, they're on fire, they don't last very long. You're going to use this all the way through the game if you can. However, I'm probably going to tell you right now something that you may or may not know that really could change your opinion of those damage numbers at the end. And that's that the damage numbers on this don't work properly, at least for the Xbox version. Let me know in the comments if you're the same on the other consoles or PC, but this does not work out well in the test. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chuck on a little bit of footage and just show you exactly what I'm talking about.
You're going to put the refinery into overload state. You need to do that from process control. It's at the base of Lacasi's pool.
Difficult. So as you can see from that, I was jumping into one of the missions, and this was a slightly harder one. I think it was on Insane, but it was only to get the actual damage scaling. If you had a little look, the numbers that I was getting compared to the numbers at the end screen was completely different, and I found this to be the way throughout all of my actual gameplay. No matter what I was doing, it always worked out a lot less than I actually thought. So I tried another one without any armor just to see how that was working out.
Fireteam pass this way. Give him the boost, Fireteam!
Again, if you notice from that, the numbers that were coming out was in the thousands, and at the end I'd done barely anything. It is just really strange. The reason that I noticed this, I was playing with someone yesterday and their damage was absolutely awful. We actually failed the mission, and when I looked at his damage, it was like a third of what I had. And for the life of me, I couldn't work out how it was that bad. His turret was doing an awful lot of work, it was doing the job it was intended, but as a technician, you cannot rely on the flame turret. And now that's not to say you shouldn't have it, it is actually the best turret in the game. However, if you were going to go by numbers, even if you took this completely off, you would get more numbers on that end screen just from having the basic turret. It makes little sense to me, but at the moment that's just how it's scaling. So don't worry about your damage at the end. If it's not quite as high as it should be, it's probably because you're relying on your flame turret a lot more than you probably should. So how can you do things better for yourself? The main thing you're going to want to do is keep that flame turret on. You might think because I've told you this, take the flame turret off, it's not making those numbers as big. That's not the case. The flame turret is definitely the best. I keep calling it flame turret. The incinerator turret is definitely the best, and it absolutely chews through those enemies. It's just that the damage doesn't tally up at the end properly. What you're going to want to make sure you do is shoot your weapons more often. Make sure you're chucking out those coils. Make sure you've got a few things such as the perks over here, the compatibility matrix. While this ability is active, you deal 10% more damage. Chuck this, attach it to your charged coils. This will give you 10% if you throw out 1, 20% if you chuck out 2, and 30% if you chuck out 3 to your damage. Really helping those shots that you're pulling off with your weapons. Another one that's really nice would probably be the hidden cache one, the creative pain point solutions. You and your turret deal 10% more damage to slowed enemies. You're gonna chuck that out all the time, you're gonna have slow going on. It works really well and gives you that extra damage in your build again. But the main thing you're gonna want to do more than anything else, if you bop over to your weapons, the main thing you're going to want to do is make sure you have 2 on that you're using for different ranges. The person I was playing with yesterday, unfortunately he was using 2 at kind of mid-range, and one of them was an SMG, so he just wasn't getting the best from it. For your primary slot, what you'll probably want to do is have something at a bit of range. So for example, the Magnum just over here works absolutely amazing. You're going to get a lot of damage with this, especially if you can pull off those headshots. Or another really nice one is the Type 95 combat pistol. A lot of stability, a lot of accuracy, it just works really well and is really fluid. However, for those tough situations when you're being overwhelmed by a big baddie, one of the elites that you just can't take out, chuck on something nice that's going to do a fair chunk of damage in this slot. I would fully recommend the M37A3 pump shotgun. If you didn't have that, then maybe something else. If you wanted to, probably the Medved's not too bad, or the other one that's really nice could be the Type 76 auto shotgun, and make sure you're using these at that close range. Honestly, the main reason that you'll find you're not doing much damage with the technician is because you're letting your turrets do all of the work for you. If however you chuck out those coils, you're making sure that everything's slowed down in front of you and you're popping off some really nice weak point damage with the shotguns, you will net yourself an absolute abundance more damage. But like I said, if you're playing early game, all the way up until probably standard difficulty, even having that normal turret will cut it really well, and it will net you some more overall damage at the end screen for some reason. I don't know why, but the flamer just doesn't seem to tally up properly. Alright, well you gamers, just a quick one today. I just thought I'd bring it to a few people's attention, and like I said, if this isn't for every platform, say for example PC's working fine, let me know. It definitely isn't working as intended on my game, and I just found it a little bit on the odd side. But yeah, if you're a technician and you're struggling to hit those damage numbers, you're probably relying on your turrets too much. Make sure you put something nice in your build gun wise, probably chuck in some of the training. You'll definitely net those numbers, and you'll make it so that that end screen looks a bit more favourable to you, and you're not scratching your head wondering why it's so low and you're always coming third. As always guys and girls, for all things gaming, for all things Xbox, take care. I'll see you on the next day.